My stuff on YouTube. Recording is in progress. What's up, my friends? Raul Lopez Jr. here. I am I've been on a journey, an incredible journey for a long time. But I mean, I'm talking in short term, these last few weeks. I've been going from startup event, tech startup event to startup event, meeting incredible people. And then I was on a week long men's retreat. So uh the retreat I'm going to get into, and then I'm going to get into some of my frustrations and rants. Uh but I wanted this to be educational, if anything, right? And some will listen, some won't. I get people who say funny things like, why would anybody care what you say? But if you think that and then you don't share your message, that's the enemy. That's what the enemy wants. That's what the opposition wants, is for you to be silent, not to share your message, not to get on social media, not to write your book, not to um, text people, not to send out a message about what you've been downloaded, right? And I go like this: downloaded from above to pass on. And there's a lot of people out there that the enemy uses, and most of those people don't even realize that they're being used. They just will say something. Have you ever just said something and then after kind of thought like, why did I even say that? Because there is control and there is manipulation. That's part of, I think, my rant here and some of the things I'm going to talk about. How much manipulation there is. I was sitting with a friend of mine yesterday at a coffee shop, and we were having a conversation about my event coming up on February 21st in Newport Beach, little pitch event coming up in Newport Beach. And we were talking about the theme and how I've switched up what my events are about. In short, if you follow me, you'll already know this. If you don't, here's some information for you. I branded Tag Talks, Tag Talks, back in 2017. And TAG stands for transparency, acceptance, and growth. And the main theme of Tag Talks is sharing a personal story. What challenge did you have in your life, and how did it take you off path, is what I call it. And then when did you discover you were off path, and what tools did you use to get back on track? And where are you? Who are you today? And are you sharing the wisdom from that whole experience? That's tag. That's the core of tag. Now, what I've talked about in the past is, or in the recent past, is that God was calling me away from tag talks. So I've really been trying to understand that, because God gave it to me. God was the one who said, hey, go share your message with the world. Start with kids in juvenile hall, then in prisons and in churches. Then there's whatever happens from there happens from there. And I turned into this global brand, helping people, coaching people, sharing their stories, getting them into books. We're launching a book on February 21st, an anthology with Les Brown. We've got people jumping in at the last second. It's kind of exciting, a little bit nerve-wracking, great people. So I've been helping offer programs to help coaches, and the core of it is to get your message out there to help and serve people, because the only coaches that I've been wanting to work with, are willing to work with, are people who have a powerful story and want to share that story. So if you have wisdom from hardship in your life, to me, that's the ultimate coach. If everything I've experienced, everything I've survived, everything that happened for me, and the wisdom I gained and all around, right? Streets, college, above, prison, everything else, is the best use to coach and help people who are experiencing that same life, right? I heard a quote the other day, you've probably heard it, I can't even think of it, but something to the effect of, the best coach you can hire is somebody who's been through exactly what you're trying to come out of. So that's where my passion came with working with coaches, because every coach has their own emotional battle that they've come through, and now they want to help other people, right? Because we want to help others because we know the pain. We've experienced the pain. I've experienced the pain of the darkness of the childhood trauma of the streets, of incarceration, of abandonment, of everything that you can think of. So I know the pain. So when I see somebody else in that pain, I want to help them. It's my heart. I want to help them. Now, I kind of got off track. I was talking about that we were in the coffee shop, but there's a reason why I'm talking about what I'm talking now. Um, God is pulling me from tag talks, but he's not pulling me from sharing my message. And I was given that just the other day when I went to Life Surge. And I'll tell you, I went to Life Surge when it first started and I walked out. I didn't like it. It was just a bunch of, it was a pitch fest is what it was. It was at a church, but it wasn't really about God. It was a pitch fest. So I went back. I was gifted a ticket, and I went to Life Surge just recently in Los Angeles. Ed Milet was there. One of my mentors for 26 years, James Smith, spoke there. I can't think of the name. I don't want to be insulting, but he doesn't have any arms or legs. He was there. There was some other really cool people there, and it was 100% about God. And so I really enjoyed it. But listening to Ed Milet speak, he told a powerful story about his dad and growing up and his experiences, emotional connection, truth, authenticity, transparent and authenticity, growth. And it inspired me as to why I started sharing my story back in the late 90s. I'll tell you about my age back in the late 90s. And I was sitting there because I've been kind of slowing down and stepping away. I almost took the whole year off last year from speaking. Well, not from speaking, but from my own events. And I was inspired, re-engaged to share my personal story. And really the download came is I can share my story and I can help people share their story without it being, salesy, right? That's what it came to. Is I went from listening to people's stories and helping them put their story together and sharing it with the world to transactional business, right? Because everything costs money. I mean, it costs money to get a venue, right? I got a beautiful venue on the water, on the harbor in Newport Beach, right? Comes with digital screens and mics and cameras and music. I mean, it all of that. It costs money, and when people that's almost like they get offended because I ask them or I offer them a speaker package. And not everybody, because we've had incredible people come and speak for all these years, and they have covered and paid speaker packages, and we've given them product, right? They bought a product, a service. But as I transitioned from selling those speaker packages, and I brought on an incredible speaker coach. Her name is Roxana Zaya, and she'll be doing all the speaker coaching because I'm stepping away from speaker coaching. I think my core is still my personal message, my books, Heal the Boy and the Man Will Appear, and then some life coaching for those that resonate with my story, that need healing, know something's wrong, but just don't know what it is yet. And that's my core that I was being given from God. Share your personal story and help these people with all the wisdom that you've gained from the streets, from the incarceration, from college, from business, from everything that I've done personally. What I've done, I can help people with. So that's kind of the transition. But as I make that transition, so I'm no longer selling speaker packages, right? For the most part. And so what that comes with is the overhead to put on an event comes out of my pocket, right? Like the venues and everything that I'm talking about, setting up food. I mean, all these things. We're going to have an incredible one-day event that, on February 21st in Newport Beach. I have coffee and maybe some snacks in the morning, and then we're going to have a full lunch for everybody, at this beautiful venue on the water. We'll be having lunch on the water. So there's cost in that. And to have a venue on the ocean is not, it's not just, I don't know what you want to say. It's expensive. How about that? So as I transitioned from selling and offering speaker packages, I said, well, I'll look and ask for people to sponsor, right? Sponsor the event. I don't even do big sponsorships. I've had people offer me 10, or not offer me, but have paid me 10, 15, big numbers to sponsor the events previously. This is a smaller event, so I have a smaller sponsorship that I've been putting out there and offering to different businesses. And I think that's kind of where the rant comes from. And the title on here should be something that people who take can't receive. And you're like, well, what does that mean? If they're taking, then how are they not receiving? And what I mean by that is, I don't want to call anybody out because this happens regularly, okay? And it's okay. But a lot of people live out of ego and they don't even know it, right? So a sponsorship is not paying to speak. A sponsorship is you're paying to get your message out there. You're paying to get your brand out there. You're paying to get the product, right? I mean, think about Facebook ads and all kinds of promotions and things that people do that they pay to promote their product and their service, right? And so when I talk about sponsorships and I get these responses from people and it's just their ego, right? And if you're watching this and you think I'm talking to you, I'm not talking to you directly because it wasn't just you. It was many of people, okay? It's many of people. But the frustrating part is I see the benefits that come from sponsoring or speaking at my events. I get people all of the time who reach out to me. Somebody just reached out to me yesterday that I haven't talked to in a very long time and said, "Hey, Raul, I just want to say thank you for bringing me to your event because I met this person and that person has taken me to the next level." Okay. I mean, people who have attended my events and met the people that I bring, the quality people, influencers, and speakers that I bring, have been on TV shows, have been on high-end podcasts, have gotten speaking gigs, have gotten singing gigs, have just started businesses, right? So people who are coming, whether they pay a ticket, get a free ticket to attend, or have paid a package, they're growing, right? I mean, my speaker packages were like $3,500. That's nothing. And plus, you're getting the whole package, the marketing, the videos, all that type of stuff. And then you're meeting the right people that are taking you to the next level. Regularly, people come and thank me for my events. Regular people come and thank me. If it wasn't that I didn't come to your event, I wouldn't be doing this right now. I wouldn't have met this person. I wouldn't have met that person. And one thing leads to another, right? So you may meet one person at my event who loves your story, who loves what you're doing, just passionate about it because they have same challenges. And then they introduce you to the next person, the next person, the next person. It's the ripple effect that is true in life and spiritually. It's the ripple effect that is truth, okay? 10 people down the line, somebody that I don't even know is helping somebody that came and attended my event, right? And I appreciate that when they come back and say, "Hey, thank you for that." Because do I need it? Well, I don't want to say, I mean, it's nice. It's nice to receive. I don't know if I need it. It's nice to receive because people are appreciative. So, and I am too. I thank people all the time for people that I've met and things that I've done because of other people that I've met. So with that said, what does it mean? And I'm going to go back to the coffee shop. I know I still got to go back to the coffee shop, but what does it mean for that people who take can't receive? And here's the example. I've talked to a few people about my current event coming up, right? Hey, yeah, Raul, I want to come and speak. I want to come and speak. And I said, okay. I said, well, I'm not selling speaker packages. Do you have a product or a service? Yeah, I got this new product. I'm launching it. And I said, okay, well, that's a great business sponsor. You can sponsor the event and you can come and you could talk about your new product that you're offering. You could even pitch it, right? And you can bring it and people can see it and taste it or look at it or whatever it is. Oh, I'm not going to pay. Oh no. I'm in a hotel room. They're working on next door. I don't know if you just heard that or not, but that's horrible. Anyhow, I'm not going to pay. And I'm just like, I always ask the same question to all of these guys who say that. Can you hear that? They're drilling in the wall right on the other side of my hotel room. Hopefully it's not too disrupting. I think Zoom cut some of that out. So maybe maybe you're not hearing. I don't know. Anyhow, so I'll try and talk around it. Oh, there it goes again. It's interrupting me. I'll try and talk around it. So anyhow, a couple of people, more than one, that I've talked to have had that. Oh, no. And so I asked the question, what is it that you expected when you called me and wanted to speak at my event? Well, I don't pay to speak. And I said, I'm not asking you to pay to speak. I'm asking if you want to be a business sponsor at the event, right? And promote your product, your service. It's a benefit, right? Oh, no. I'm not going to do that. That's not me. I usually get this or I usually get that, blah, 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 blah. So in my mind, and I don't argue, right? Okay, thanks, right? But in my mind, I'm like, you want to come and speak and promote a product, your service, and you want to offer it to the audience at the venue I've paid for, the luncheon that I'm putting on, breakfast, the coffee, the cameras, everything that I'm doing, and you don't want to sponsor my business, but you want me to promote your business, right? Now I don't get offended by that, but it's just like I don't understand the concept of what people are like. Well, I don't. No, no, no. I'm not going to pay. I'm not going to do this, or I'm not going to do that. So particularly as I was talking about how people meet people at my events, because I bring good people, and I got some leaders coming in. I got some world dominators coming into this event. As a startup in entrepreneurship, and people meet people and they go on from there. So particularly a couple of these guys and gals who I spoke with about this and had that similar conversation. I said, well, why don't you just attend the event and you'll see what we do? Oh no, I'm not going to come. Right. So they wanted that to me is a taker. Right. They reached out to me, hadn't reached out to me in years. And then all of a sudden, hey, I want to come and speak. I want to promote my new product or service. I want. And then when I'm asking to reciprocate, no, attitude, right? It's all attitude. It's all chip on the shoulder. Oh, I don't do this. I don't do that. So that's a taker. That's what I mean by a taker. Okay. Now here's what you're not receiving. You may get into a few places like that. Okay. But you're not meeting the people, the good people, the core people that can really take you to the next level, because your energy is not of that. Your energy is take, right? So you're not in the energy of open, receiving, sharing, giving, loving, reciprocation in the energy, in the frequency of receive. You're just not. So anyhow, because I've been deep in the startup realm frequency per se, and I've been talking about shifting my frequency for about a year now. And I really have shifted my frequency mentally, physically, spiritually, the circle that I'm in, and I'm attracting incredible people. So people have products and services that they want to offer, but they don't want to sponsor, right? As I said, in short. But I've been invited off on a whim just in this last 2 weeks to investor events, where to events where people will invest and want to hear about what you have and will invest. And guess what? When people are in my circle, I tell them, I invite them to everything that I do. That's why they're so appreciative. I invite them to everything that I do, and I introduce them to the people who are doing, right? So I'm going to 3 events in the next week where I've been told, you need to come, Raul, you need to come to this event. And people are introducing me to it and saying, you need to come, because they know I serve, I help, I love, I'm in that frequency. And somebody just yesterday said, hey man, are you coming to this event tomorrow? I go, I've never heard of it. What is it? And they told me what it was. And they said, everybody in this room has a check in their hand waiting to invest in something. From all technology, food, new restaurants, drinks, whatever it is, they're looking. This event is for people who have money and are looking to invest. So who do you think I'm inviting to come with me to these events? People who I work with, people who have invested in themselves, whether it be with me or other people that I know have a good heart and they're not takers. So I'm not going to introduce these types of meetings and people to those who just are trying to take and don't want to give. I'm sorry. I don't know if that's bad on me or not. And I guess there are exceptions to rules where, if you don't have to give or to partner, that's a whole nother story, right? Because I bring people and offer people and give people speaking spots and everything else who I know truly can't afford it, who truly don't have the income for it, but I want to help them grow. I do that all the time. In fact, every event, I'll give somebody an extreme break or something free, right? An offering, an opportunity. But when you come to me with an ego and you almost want to be insulting because I'm asking for a sponsorship, because I'm explaining, hey, everything costs money. Nothing's for free. Time, energy, monetization, time, energy, money. Everything is time, energy, and money. And I'll tell you, here's the other thing. People that come and speak, I sit with them and I talk to them so that I know who they are before I even get them up there. I know the people that are going to share at this event are going to change your life. All right. So that was the whole people that take can't receive, you know? And then I have 4 words here: spirit, silence, listen, and wake up. Spirit, silence, listen, and wake up. Those are all different things. Spirit. In short, you are not your body. You are a spirit here on a human journey. There's a science to this body. There's a science to your brain, psychology, science to the mind and the body. Okay. And I don't say mind, brain and body, because I believe mind is a higher thing. Psychology is a science. Biology is a science. What you eat matters. If you eat McDonald's every day, you're going to be out of shape, unhealthy, and have no energy because there's no nutrients in it. And I just use McDonald's in short. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on social media or not. It's a company, whatever it is. Fast food, how about that? If you eat fast food, junk food all the time, that's affecting you physically, mentally, and even spiritually, because you don't have the nutrients that your body needs, the vitamins and the nutrients that your body needs to function. So if you're depressed, if you're full of anxiety, et cetera, what do you eat? What do you eat? And I'm going to say something that's very controversial right now. Okay. And I'm not even going to say it's factual. I'm going to say it's my experience. This is my personal experience. Okay. What I'm about to say is going to piss a lot of people off. And if I have heard this 3 years ago, I'd have been pissed off. In fact, I probably had heard it and was pissed off. My personal opinion. I have been through deep, dark depressions in my life. Deep, dark depressions, psychological conditioning, darkness, childhood trauma, suicidal, full of anxiety, can't function, angry, acting out in anger. I have gone through some deep emotional trauma. And when, you've heard hurt people, that was my life. And when I was younger, it was physical, right? Most people are more emotional, right? And you can hurt people emotionally by things you say, do, or act, right? Or et cetera. So I'm 55, transparency, acceptance, and growth. I'm 55 years young. Up until the last couple of years, I've been through deep darkness, depressions, and anxieties. And just in this last year, when I took a year off, I was forced to take a year off. Let me put it that way, spiritually, from God above, I was forced to take a year off. I'm still going to get back to the coffee shop because that's where this is all coming from. I was forced spiritually. God said, you are going to stop and you are going to do nothing. And that's when you're going to find me. That's when you're going to listen. That's when you're going to understand. And I fought it and I fought it and I fought it. And I was just stripped away of everything. In the last 4 years, I was pretty much stripped away of everything. In the last year, I started to listen and pray. And I spent almost the whole year either barefoot hiking on the beach for miles and miles, or in some kind of a forest, right? The nature, hiking, headphones on, binaural beats, listening to meditation, prayer, just praying, meditating in silence. Spirit, in silence is where you start to hear from above. In silence is where you start to hear from above. Here's the controversial part. I can no longer be depressed. I can no longer be stuck in anxiety. It was all me. The depression, the anxiety, it was all me. I could have never, ever have thought that, because back in those deep, dark places, I used to cry and scream and yell at God. Why do I feel like this? What is this? Why does this come over me? What is this? Why am I so full of anxiety? People really don't know too much about me and having anxiety, because I'm a speaker. I'm on stage. I'm out. I'm shaking hands. I'm meeting people all the time. It was so hard for me to leave my house It was so hard for me to be in an audience. It was like I had to walk in there and turn something on to be able to even function and talk to people. So many times I've gone to events in my life and sat in a corner. So many times I've gone to parties, birthday parties, friends parties, whatever it is, and sat in a corner. I can't be like that anymore. I can't be depressed anymore. I can't have anxiety anymore because I've understood, I've learned, I've grown, I've prayed, I've been in silence, seeking and growing. I can't tell you how, if, or when you'll ever stop being depressed or come out of anxiety. My personal experience, I never took medication. I've been prescribed every type of medication you can think of. I've been diagnosed with what I don't know what's called like acute extreme depressions and all these weird names of anxieties, and there's this weird 3 word PTSD, acute PT. I don't know what they are, but I've been diagnosed with all these things on paper. And a lot of people will get that paper and they'll walk around with it metaphorically. I have this and I have that, and that's why I'm like this. And I have this and I have that, and that's why I'm like this. You're just making an excuse for the stupid shit you do. Ooh, excuse my language. You're just making an excuse. Now, with that said, the reason it's controversial is because I couldn't control it. I couldn't control it. I didn't know why I was in that state of mind. It's uncontrollable to a certain point, but it's based on your upbringing or things you've experienced in your life. So you become it. I became it. So when you become it, your brain, your emotions, your what's the term? You're not your yes, your emotions, but your hormones. There's certain hormones that kick in that your brain is used to firing. That goes into your body, makes you feel physically sick, and you get this anxiety because you've conditioned your body by things that have happened to you to feel that way, and then our bodies get addicted to it. So when we're in depression, anxiety, anger, whatever it is, it's a habit, it's an addiction, and we use it for an excuse because it's the only thing we can figure out of why we act, feel, and do those things. I was trying to figure it out. So I was seeing psychologists and therapists and everybody else, what's going on? Why? Why? Well, it's because you have this and it's because you have that. And you should take this medication and you should do this and you should take that. So we take on what we're told. It's not your fault, man. It's not your fault if you don't know. It wasn't my fault, but I figured it out. So if you're in that now and in your 20s, learn from a 55-year-old who took freaking this long to figure it out. Figure it out now. This is my passion. This is where I started helping, serving people to understand these things. And it turned into this big coaching school, speaker coaching thing. That's not my passion. My passion is getting you in a room and letting you feel what I'm talking about right now and helping you come to the next level in your life spiritually. How do you do that? You get into silence. That's why I have spirit, silence. Listen, wake up. You get into silence. You don't have to wait till something horrible happens, but for whatever reason, that's been my pattern. I don't listen until something's wrong, and then I go, what's happening? You don't have to do that. You can be having the greatest career, business, success, love, finance. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't be seeking. Because if God starts to call you and you don't pay attention, you'll be stripped away. It's happened to me a couple of times. I'm just coming out of it right now. And in the frequency I'm in, people are coming, man. People are calling me randomly, just random people I haven't talked to, like, hey, Raul, I want to do this with you. I want to do that with you. I want to do it. Just random. And when I see that frequency of love and reciprocity, that was called, people are, it's a circle and we're all helping and serving and loving each other. That's why I got on that rant earlier about people who take can't receive. Because I give people that are in my circle, I give them everything that I have, everything that I can offer them that they need. If I have something I can give you that you need, I will give it to you. But when you come to me with, oh, no, I don't do this and I don't do that and I don't do this, you're in the wrong energy, man. I've detached from that. I think I posted something today that said, I forget, something to the effect of you don't have to be, I don't know, I forgot the quote. It's something like, you don't have to be mean to people or whatever, who are not, as you are, but just put them where they're at. What I mean? I forget. Look it up. You can find it on my thing. Uh, Anyhow, spirit, you are a spirit. You're powerful. And Jesus told you that. Pay attention. Go into silence. I always say, I learned this many years ago, when we pray, we are talking to God. Wonderful thing. Nothing wrong with that. But when you're talking to somebody, are you listening? No, you're talking, right? So when we're praying, we're talking to God. When we're in silence, when we're meditating, when we're soaking in prayer, we're listening. Here's something else I've learned. God speaks to me every single day, all day. But unless I'm silent and I'm paying attention and I'm focused and I'm listening, unless I'm listening, I don't get it. And when I figured this out, God showed me my entire life. And every single time he had helped me, been there and spoken to me, and that I wasn't paying attention. Spirit, silence, listen, and wake up, man. Wake up. Man, it's so hard. I'm really getting to a point, and I've said this over and over again, right? So I got to do what I'm thinking and saying. Is just, there's so much technology now. I don't even have to personally be on social media to post, right? I mean, there's backends now where you can have every social media set up, and you just can set up posting for 30 days and you don't got to look at it, right? I mean, and I'm battling that with engagement and et cetera, engaging with people. But look at I don't know. I spoke the other day about creating your own algorithm, because you can on social media. But man, the fact that I know and I've done that, creating my own algorithm based on what I'm choosing to look at and deleting, and I'm not interested, and the stuff that's coming up, man, I know that's not my algorithm. It's all hate, pick a side, hate each other, hate each other. That's all that it is. Negative, fear, hate each other. Wake up, man. You got to wake up. I think I put something today too that said, if you've chosen a side, the mistake you made is that you think you've chosen. Do you hear that? If you've chosen a side and you're arguing with people, the mistake you've made is that you think you've chosen. There's more than two sides of anything. I said this the other day, years ago, in a debate, an argument. Somebody said, no, you have to pick a side. And I was like, what? Like, what do you mean I have to pick a side? Like, people are stuck in it. You against me against you. You have to choose a side. You have to pick a side. And I said, well, I choose the outside. There's more than those two choices. I choose the outside. I'm going to watch and try and help you, try and serve you, try and get you to understand. You don't have to argue about that. You don't have to fight about that. The only reason the argument continues is because somebody's arguing with you. The only reason the argument continues is because somebody's arguing with you. So there's an entire media, television, social media, everything else that has you doing this. And you fell for it. You've fallen for it. I don't care, moral, immoral, whatever, right, wrong, all of that. If you're arguing it online, they got you. If you're arguing it online, they got you. And it's sad to see how many people are being caught in this psyop. And it's not your fault. Let me tell you that, man. It's not your fault. I've been talking about conditioning, anxiety, and the depression. It's the same thing. It's psychological. It's a psyop. It's psychological conditioning. They got you. Just slap yourself. Wake up, man. Wake up and go, wait a second. What am I doing? What is happening? Why am I so pissed off about this, but not this? And so pissed off about this, but not this, when they both matter just the same? Because they're telling you what to argue about. And it doesn't matter which side you're on, unless you're on the outside. It doesn't matter who you're arguing, which side you're arguing on. You're arguing. That's the psyop. That's the psyop. Wake up, man. Spirit, silence, listen, wake up. Spirit, silence, listen, wake up. back to the coffee shop. I'm sitting in a coffee shop. And here's something else before I go back to the coffee shop. It's not even a big deal. It's funny. I've been pushing the coffee shop all this time, and it's not even a big deal. The As I was hiking, and I took the year off, and I just soaking and praying, soaking and praying, soaking and praying, losing things, deleting people out of my life, just recognizing frequencies and energies, and just there's only so many people that you should have around you, and if they're not in the right frequency or energy, I think that was the quote I said earlier, like, you don't have to hate them, but you don't got to be around them either. But while I was there, while I was hiking and quiet in my spirit, in silence, listening, God downloaded a new startup business. That's why I've been talking about startup too. Biotech. God showed me all the businesses that I've had. I've been in the corporate world. I've done real estate investing. Excuse me. I've been in the fashion industry, and then the author, speaker, coaching world. None of that matches. And I didn't know how to do any of it as I started it. I would just, hey, I'm going to try this. And it all worked. So now with this new biotech, emotion regulation, AI integrations with the blockchain, pays you real money to regulate your emotions. How would that help all these people that are angry fighting in the streets? Instead of getting paid to go fight with, I'm not going to get into it. Instead of getting paid to go out there and cause problems, what if you got paid to regulate your emotions? That's just a little piece of it. But God gave me an entire download of a new business that's needed for the future, for the now, which is the future. And that came to me. So the reason I said that, because now I'm sitting in this coffee shop with my friend yesterday. Another person I can introduce you to, who started his business, I think about 7 years ago. And he exited for a lot of millions of dollars. He sold his company. We're sitting and we're talking about this biotech company that I just founded, patent pending, C Corps, investments, safe docs, the entire thing, apps, integrations. We're talking about this business. And I'm asking him for advice, right? He's done what I'm doing right now. Not the same exact business, but he's built a business on the tech side of things. And then he sold it. I'm building this business and I'm going to sell it. First exitable business I think I've probably built. Anyhow, we're sitting talking in a Starbucks. Nice, pretty good sized Starbucks. Nice Starbucks. And we're just on a small round table and we're having a conversation. We're talking about a lot of things that we're talking about, that I'm talking about right now in a shorter level. And he says, as we're talking about being controlled and conditioned in the media and people fighting and all these types of things, and then we're talking about AI. I've been talking a lot about AI and that it's here. It's not coming. It's here now. Singularity. Elon Musk talked about singularity. Next step from singularity is AGI. And if you don't know what AGI is, you need to research what AGI is and what it means. Research singularity, AGI, and then what's next after that. It's not about being in fear. It's about grabbing onto it, because the world is being disrupted right now. All industries are being disrupted. 90% of jobs are going to be gone. So if you don't understand the disruption that's happening, you don't become part of it, you're going to be disrupted. We're talking about this stuff in depth, intelligent conversation. He understands it. I understand it. Most people don't understand it. And he points and he goes like this around the room. He goes, most people in here have no idea what we're talking about. He says it's really interesting time. Because he said this, he said, you and I are talking about this like we know it's happening. Like it's just common knowledge. You and I are talking about it. We know. He went like that again. He goes, none of these people know. And I looked up and I just panned the room and I felt like him and I were sitting outside of the Matrix watching a movie, and that we knew something that these people don't know. Like it was just like we were separate. We were separated from society, from the matrix, from the reality of what was going on in there. People are drinking their coffee and doing their thing and have no idea what's happening. It's not conspiracy theory. It's not fear. It's none of that. It's pay attention. Look, research. Take 2 minutes and research. What is singularity? What is AGI? How many jobs were lost last year? When and why? I keep telling people, statistically, 500,000 jobs in the US were gone last year. What, in addition to that, In addition to the the 500,000 people that lost their jobs, there's a whole other sector to track. When people leave jobs, they're not hiring anymore. When people leave jobs, they're not hiring. They don't have to. Literally, one person can do 10 people's jobs with AI, artificial intelligence. One person can do a 10-person job with artificial intelligence. It's not a, it's, so 500,000 jobs lost, and then no one's hiring. Very few people are hiring. And what the ones that are more likely are the labor that artificial intelligence isn't able to take over yet. So we're having this conversation. He understands it. I understand it. So it's a good conversation. He's giving me ideas. I'm giving him ideas. We're waking up. We're listening. We're talking. We're waking up. Spirit, silence, listen, wake up. And we look, I scan this room, and it's so interesting. And this goes even deeper to hologram and matrix and all that. And we were outside. While we were sitting there talking, we were outside of the matrix, talking about things that most people don't understand. We were disconnected, and everybody was still connected for the most part. All of this to say, the world is changing at all levels, including spiritually. So stay close to God. If you're helping people, if you know this, if you know and understand what I'm talking about, and you're helping people, I want to talk to you because I'd love to interview you at my event, February 21st in Newport Beach, live in person, one-day event. I'll even buy you lunch. If you're curious, if I've triggered something in you to even think about this, like what is happening? I don't believe you, but I want to hear more. Come to the event. I'll put a link somewhere. You can get a ticket. I've got a couple of sponsors, and we're able to give 75% off the ticket, right? Basically covering your lunch and some coffee in the morning, et cetera, et cetera. If you have no idea, if you've gotten this far and you have no idea what's going on, you're intrigued though. You are intrigued, okay? I invite you to grab a couple of people who are clueless. That's not an insult, who are clueless to what I'm talking about, right? I'm clueless to brain surgery. I'm clueless to flying an airplane. I have no idea. You know what I mean? So clueless is not an insult, but if you have people in your life who are clueless to what I'm talking about, bring them to this event. Bring them. I don't care if it's 1, 2, 10, 1, 2, or 10, 20, whatever. Bring them because I'm going to go deep into this with experts. Okay. And it'll turn a light on for you. It'll a neural connection. You've seen those videos. It's important that you know and see what's going on. Not only that, but we're going to have tech and startup people there. So if you have a business, it's a great place to meet incredible people for future business to grow. It's a different world. Passionate about it, man. God put the fire back in me to continue to help and serve. In the 90s, God told me to serve, to love, to take my wisdom, to share it. I'm still growing. I'm still getting wisdom. I'm still sharing it, just on a different level and a different platform than what I was doing. You have a product or service that serves people, that helps people, let me know. If you need a discount code to the event, you know what? I'm going to say it here. I usually don't say it on a video, but I'm going to say it here because I've been talking for a while. So if you're still here, you're interested. The discount code from one of our sponsors is GFI 75. Capital G, capital F, capital I 75. I'll put a link in the comments or wherever, and that'll give you 75% off the ticket. And like I said, it'll be coffee and probably some donuts or something in the morning, maybe something healthier than that. And I love donuts. I'm a healthy eater, but I love donuts and ice cream and pizza. But you'll get 75% off the ticket. You'll get some coffee and some snacks in the morning and a full lunch. We're gonna do a full lunch right there at the venue. So like I said, you can sit. There's tables and chairs right up by the water. But you got to hurry because there's only a few. But anywhere you sit in that venue, you see the ocean, the bay and the yachts. It's an incredible place. People who take cannot receive. You are a spirit, not the body. Silence your brain. Soak in prayer and listen. Wake up, my friends. It's a new world. The frequency I'm in is everything that I'm talking about. That the hard part is if you're not in this frequency of understanding where I've grown to, where I've up leveled to, or just gone to, whatever you want to call it, then you're not listening and you're not hearing because it's a different frequency. And that's the frustrating part. How do I get people who are not in this frequency to understand the frequency they're in and that there's something more? Right. And if you're beyond my frequency or on a different frequency that's even it's not higher or better because it's not better or worse, but I use the word higher level. Talk to me because I listen. I want to listen. I pray, I soak, I want to hear what you have. It's not better or worse, but there are levels, and we're all learning and growing in different levels. Okay. There are some people that my level of frequency, vibration, understanding is here, and they're here in a specific topic, but that with other topics, they're here and I'm here. That's where we all come together and we talk and we grow and we interview and we have people speaking and we sit down and we ask questions and we have a great conversation. February 21st, join me. February 21st, join me in Newport Beach, California for one full day of fun.